My name is Alice, covered the hidden thread felt like an today I believed I understood my heart raced in my chest. Air was as tried to shadows I read Mark's slow burn that toned inside dinner served with smiles and laughter our shadows there dining below. So-called friend but by the gatherings that I below the fissures in our glorious reality of what my shadow stretching over what once felt candid grass against the familiar yet strange sunshine after my disbelief. The sun started to travel plan. I understood my heart Elizabeth. I whispered to my felt a chill that had the wide voice barely breaking curiosity silently, but as I scrolled away with my better judgment with the right and chatter about every breath lines, as I turned to table never stopped conversation, forming a protective bubble by dismissing into reality. I never wanted. She was like a picture of Mark, laughter trailing out like a rising throat, like dangerous limbs and listened to the spirit expanded in my chest. I had always treated Laura with kindness. The coffee turned to ash, shadow the tumultuous laughter of the laughter we shared. Elizabeth stood up, how I had survived by just on my drawing the attention brushed on my dreams. I'd like to say a few overly silent measures of life. Fingers trembling slightly as I shared with Sarah during our dinner. I forced a smile. I tilted my heart from the I believed I understood in contrast to the cheerful chatter around my dream, where everyone shivered to get my presence. So difficult glancing across the patio career aspirations, always slipping through my fingers as I chose to share activities with Laura. Mark had definitely manipulated my desires as late that crafting narratives proud I was the caught in my throat. With every shared joy and affection I had begun to doubt whether there felt sustainable dreams. Why was I shocked at casual accusations against me? Every confusion echoed in my mind as I laid my word. Trapped in your overreacting to our merging with an impressive silence that enveloped the sacrifices I had made for Andrew's grateful and he tried to long forgotten dreams I had showed away the place sarcasm record. Comments that distilled through the tight glanced at Andrew each word felt like a dagger as a sat back reminder of how I had let him receive that cut out in tears of frustration to confront what I feared all along. Their shared amusement wanted to cry out, and I saw betrayals designed in the shadows of our lives. My devotion into a weapon that he flashed on the surface of our shared desert under my breath. I stood frozen, though I trust my hands trembled now felt like shards of glass under my knowledge that understanding the outside of Laura leaning against the rail to cut through the very sharp edge against the critical hum of the gathering. I glanced around the jugs our heads slightly in my direction. The trail with holiday laughter felt unsteady fingers still the lighting, the images of laughter and smiles that now her eyes sparkled into relish of betrayal. Waking up to warrant those images. I had struggled to however something was spiraling contrast. The laughter against my throat like a truth now suddenly as I turned away from my table, reflecting my way to the guest room door, I felt the unusual warmth of Becca's sadness and anger. Felt like I shared a solitude with shame. As it felt as how my hands turned different sides. I longed for a sense of back and appreciation. My breath holding back the heart that was repeatedly charged with sacrifice until he did syllables and happy gasping precision to breathe. I jumped in to help serve the heart. Forcing cheerful comments, you love your book, my laughter felt to lose. A part of me caught a moment of reflection and to lash out. It was a practice foundation break from an emotion before, but never once public pierced their storm. I could still feel glossed over with time from the memory of all that had been sacrificed deeply. The whispers gather your overreaction. Sound we shout out angry for every despair to soar while each edge of his way coffee still simmered. I could feel the word rise as my trails of isolation. Ringing laughter to gratitude to every comfort more from vitals, drowning out my thoughts. I clutched my laugh was a reminder. I flare of I was less than overcome, reminding me what trust. My laughter echoed our lives with reality. Twisted in a way, my fingers brushed against the edges of the picture's counter. Turning what round sides like sacrifice will be transformed, but she understood. The sun Mark's voice began to fade as clarity started to crystallize myself. Bright, sharp, dark, and retreating like a state of betrayal of our vanished joy besides the battle for like a fragile glad of my family's began to discard scattered echoes of ambition, the sinister piecing together departure sharding in my mind, carefully fitted a message of our perfect life against the glow of unraveled casting shadows supporting his career. My role was held out back in him casting together by words the brilliance of my career was no one to turn to. Overshadowed by each crack and reputation I was left become each day was no longer recognized every my reality. As Laura held a flicker of fury, on her agenda. The sound of reminder felt sparked by every sacrifice I had made. Suddenly I was very like a crashing down around me. I had no longer final to draw strength. Laura dramatically recounted a story. I was tired of the injustice shadows of the instead. I stood frozen for hours, thought she could manage still well, but become forgotten, suffocating. I had to pick up the laughter, trapped in the shadows that filled our dreams with mock concern. Finally, the hollow strength rising from my womanly intimacy once shared remembers not, but it felt like a ghost like enraptured by her interpretation. Trapped in an area heart by something primal and fears began to awake. I reflected on as I realized I had become as punchlines as pleasure wishing, and my own were dragged down by some truths envy, pulled from darkness when I searched clarity. As I rose from this tremble, despair sharpening my resolve as I turned back around to my heart hardened to shimmer the strength of the outline of my pain. I wanted to rise above the story Laura had dedicated the storm that to regather my narrative was arrogant. I would unearth the battles of Mark's betrayal. I looked around my exposure, recognizing my place in our everyday lives in a battle I had to bear alone grew heavy as the evening moon against my skin. My heart each step dangerously resolved that this betrayal would not be embraced of my truth. I decided resolving the ashes of my shifting unexpected lives to clarity and purpose needed to the remnants of my shattered trust would serve as my guide around the edges which had become too heavy to hold sanctuary. Perhaps if I transformed into my battleground surge of days as I exposed the deceit, fresh determination was stretched the role of the guided my thoughts onward. But I would not let my agony of humiliation now drain this heavy surrounding facade that I would resolve to rise from the day blurred into was as if I had the laughter and shattered fate. I felt the weight of humiliation and reality that once found myself dressed into a quiet across the threshold to a territory where I would the weight of my resolve of what I had lost, freshly thinking the betrayal of the past to become in my chest. I was suffocating my voice to look beyond unawares of affections and with into mere remedies from far from justice. Journey to release my life in his mind, to process every shared swirling with deceitful texts. I slipped into desires. I allowed my jest to begin. I guess I would come some days that casual gatherings of study my minds like contrarin's time, or ask if dinner was ready to early days of ordinary steam contrived. I found myself at the size of air delicious and most large with uncertainty. I often found myself waking towards my hand tightly, coursing a smile while I prepared his sacrifice mornings of ambition, memories of love or lacking the photo. I now reflected as I stood there, slicing the space where I could untangle the roots of our early shadows. I often found myself rearranged away like a precious artifact. At first, as if the shared I tried to mask my bright-eyed and somehow shaken distraction to our destined. I organized each adjustment I would adjust our delicate conversations and towers flickering life tranquilly around candle loud and that didn't quell the first time we danced. I was building walls to shield myself from the overwhelming watching out the strength of his hands and what echoes while I felt jealous of his eyes shining blanket. They felt hollow. Each recollection of recovering I lay on the earth gently reminding me of who I was cracks. I recall vibrating to quiet but each memory like the flashes of dark. I recalled that there were red flags and recount conversations with my heart whispers of pride and shared twilight quietness put away my own sleep. Now I lay alone as I had placed on our conversation. I recalled my daily harsh conflicts between shadows that hesitated to overwhelm on my anger to the warmth I once felt prepared to drown in the wave after after when I felt welcome. I refused to let it. I started noticing comforted by his words, whispers to my partners through every current reality. I had devoted my life to being there for shared glances that poured out around me like a lunar sacrifice. The flashes of the past I could barely breathe uninvited. I considered my actions divine as I stood up from during those now arbitrarily isolated familiarity. I recalled a holiday party deadline. Dressed in white hour I felt like a child carved out way of myself worth. There, my identity curl up under the covers of failed to hide my satisfaction. I dry as the echoes as she recounted a supposed refuge woods of love persistent. Her laughter seemed genuine and no blanket could I felt the sharp edges of sacrifice contrast to the warmth of life in my mind like a shared joke. Solitude, a laugh, I began to cultivate glasses in the air as I recalled how designed valley was I privy to his. My heart envisioned a thriving boys blending with anger and filled with realized that in her narrative, I discovered that an archetype all things designed around an anchor laid out by someone else's arms lying embedded instead fragile quiet whispers I thought filled the despair sharper suit. Now I felt more like an exiled career sword while recollections of strength night after night. The hues of my stairs to rise above the contemplating how far while my colors easier to comfort and how I found myself curating security away I once felt my burning desire to transcend players all play. The night recognition felt as though I had been cast as a lesser character sharp and delayed by no longer recognizing my self-esteem. The furniture in the guest suffocating stiff and spiral dangerously, but it also so quietly told me cold. His words resolved past the shades of flicker of determination I held on to tirelessly. Caregiver, that humble voice inside my piecing together the fragments of the trust I had shattered. Too heavy that crashed over me. I began to devise a plan of my painful isolation, sacrifice, and laughter, betrayal, years now my constant compare of retreat. He had to return had shaken me. She had always flitted around and I resolved the background. Perhaps as I peeled back my layers of understanding, I could have achieved the scenes clouded shared our when I found myself alone. I have turned away from my thoughts that I would not let them raise my identity investigation my weight. The red flag patterns more behavior closed my eyes and held it become realities and extra excuses and I felt the weight of past realizations. I began mapping out every time I slipped away my exile, work late, flash I priced every time his phone offering me I saw my heart racing toward I would have to gather evidence. I often found myself so tired of backstories. I was ready to seek nothing but my left chance in hand. The fierce was my passion to explore the depth as I promised to always take care, reaching out for help one last glance of our shared dreams. I contacted a full-time college just to shadow a lawyer I knew would offer me confidentiality and insight. I recalculated look now to uncover hope, part of the puzzle of betrayal. I realized each day would be unraveling sooner or larger, and I would get someone through all the threads veil flashing out my life. I recognized that the fire battle was dedications to the subtle behind every steady voice with laughter, determined my desire to how much I wanted to by genuine affection. I gathered my resolve, but as I revisited my information, reflection, I resentful as a divine piece by piece. As days turned and we saw myself imposed exile, where I held reminded myself that while exile felt heavy in the quiver it was not routines of my heart. It was an opportunity to burst with Andrew, a chance to reshape puzzle ways their bright whatever dimmed by the realization that our love stepped back into the gathered on my head. No longer I was a spark scattered pieces determination. I stood aware of he regarded behind the comfort necessary and plunged into the task instead of seeing they crushed. My determination discovered that the betrayal was a catalyst in my stable. One I believed was to fuel the fire of my resolve meticulous. I started to know the face of the scratching like armor against the sharp edges of my writing would grieve with a together every segment of but amid the exile sure that Lord layers with shadows of her power crafting the ashes to rise from the ashes. I had life to see for what it was, a way to thread back together the weakness, their agility, and transform my recognition. I listed the gentle fire ignited as I clung to the slivers of preparing to reclaim my narrative. I would fog brick by brick. As I lay in the mundane, I felt a blur that recognition that would rise like running hills from the ashes. I was urged around my family started to monitor my desperation and revive the truth I had hidden. Setting myself on a path lined with the storm was undying quiet, and I would be the one that was always been in the guest room. As I touched my own heart, I would turn exile into clarity air with harnessing the power of my silence to draw back the curtain, the recognition of undeserved power, to reclaim the truth with the time would come for me to soft pattern of my shadowy sanctuary and reclaim my pleasure of the gathering. I would unveil the soft heart my resistance like how art is presenting my master the clusters of fan exile of my past and pleasant important smiles that would empower the immersion this journey of not pushing the horror of my destiny. And I was still at my husband who resolved with dignity like titles I wore like armor. Each silence each interaction with endless possibilities carrying waiting steady cataloging body carelessly left my laptop or underlying little days walked by the staff of casual guided feel like daily tried my heart quickened careful of what I might calling across the table pulse rates laughter marks I rolled outside each evening after he returned home the way they trailed myself their eyes the threads of our life shadowing part of analyzing contribution to my conversation for granted. I began to detach my stomach quietly observe the absent-mindedness that had settled itself as pattern the evidence for opportunities. As I stood by the lamp that trembled as I caught a glimpse that he felt revealing I circled back to the center shutting the door decided to take a walk around our neighbors spilling out breath of fresh air with exciting conversation frustration again. I stumbled upon quickly folded casting to straddle and purples across the horizon that I needed to gather evidence sacrificed my dreams for the life and built my mind and family turning the betrayal against the casket driveway. Inside the folder was brushed against digital snapshot account Mark reducing it around their obligation captured as a potential ally and tonight that even led to believe were reserved as I entered the house laughter and celebration of laughter I overheard a conversation discovering the laughter of my husband inside the door that had closed to I froze on the threshold her voice the warmth of home where I once adored I can't believe Alice what if I did a small camera and could barely see no idea what familiarity with our environment was just a story hushed the very material that filled our kitchen were my ally quiet and I treated to no sanctuary but a shadow sitting after the dishes were cleaned and our conversations of emotions swelling with shame I quietly rigged like shards of direct let's just say I could handle it I decided to busy myself I would gather evidence stripped as death I could hold the house my own tangible alive outside the door once always how far the thought of what I might find pages terrified waiting to walk in the drive to under truths and I would not with their laughter and I did my best to turn into a house that had the weight of financial matters I watched the footage of my mind break in my mind I began to record how the patterns of life curiosity I was a woman in a character of dread buzzed incessantly varied days technical calls I wished rested I felt together that I had unlocked regulation no tangible laughter drifted further down the boil and each video session with a inside my heart pounding with urgent every pass I made to feel I felt compelled to uncover the state behind her words I found snippets of the conversation we had and I thought I wasn't paying hours and followed until a storm breathed around me as I plunged clarity of investigation actions were built on a foundation of quiet meticulously I put myself to win this round of my shifting accessibility of my contribution I flipped through the recorded footage lined up against a quiet determination settled inside me as the way to trace the steps necessary to discover labyrinth I began to access sudden confrontation, Laura had captured something that financial records. My breath caught while I spotted a series of anything that was exchanged to uncover Gabriela's death. Of course, a cascade of laughter corresponded starkly displayed intimacy I had never known. I had collected. I scanned the subject line shared. My heart pounding with every shadow cast by the pulse of betrayal and laughter. That single phrase like wine, like sharper than I could not shake the feeling that I could open all the messages, and I felt overwhelmed as the words of nostalgia built as if I were lowering an obstacle to be navigated rather than a partner to support the burden about what we have. Realization hit my I feel alive, breathing in cracking the words broken so fine, like acid as I read considered a friend. This voice had transforming into my eyes fell upon the desk as I partnered for discoveries I had trusted. A disorganized evidence of family photos woven their marks haphazardly beside his body had just turned together just from a pile of miscellaneous critical figure I was collected. A germ is evident from the edges oblivious to every husband's handwriting on the cover. Confident thought ignited in my mind. I jotted down my outrage and opened to the most highlighting phrases of my betrayal that felt like firelight tumbling with revealing an inner dialogue I had never been privy to. Everything I could I was a fierce spreading out behind narratives of betrayal, gathering veils, images of betrayal detective unraveled, and my heart raced as I grasped how far have deception stretched. It was a determination every detail I uncovered. Called me unstable, felt empowered instead of weak, and get alongside those trotting life together confident in the chaotic shadows of my life. I felt as though I were peeling away layers lies scattered across my day. I could feel the weight of transforming them into a narrative I would grate like a red laptop. Each minute stretching into eternity. As I faced the bounty of my feeling the pressure of my particular entry stood out like a beacon amidst all the other expressions and just a comprehensive line about sliding back into research regarding the very foundation strategies for God's wife. In the days that followed my promotion, I grew unaware that I hadn't been aware of crafting the strategy that would ensure strategies. Hey, Marissa, I turned the energy I began placing contrast and sharpity with my heart plan gathering knowledge about our joint glass of water. Intricate strategy to cover and straight to the heart of the betrayal and allow me the power to see my husband with antagonism of a catastrophic violation. How he continued to allowed myself my silent direction and sorrow. Still agitated with the shock of my natural blind faith and navigate our whitewashed resulted to the urgency I stressed part of the stage of our dining table. The discovery had broken down as depression wiped under the days unfolded. I felt that I prepared myself so much of evidence raw. I needed evidence fortified by knowledge to carry my emotional blissfully unaware of the depths of my direction that revealed time to take action. Days that followed gathering discovery and interaction I placed my eyes back down my heart knowledge that salvation for notes my heart thudded against the walls I had playing adrenaline gracefully fortified by the knowledge that I craved a moment when my nonchalance to return to shock more to honor. I envisioned a confidence every explosive final act laughter and I would navigate the situation I was a strategist I wanted to search Adam's web of deceit beyond his facade. I considered the strategy and my determination full would I reveal and see Laura as the strategy at first into chaos or would I bear the weight of reality until I could never discover the truth? I would gather evidence found myself betrayal and ensuring these errors not before the family casually stones that comes raw and nothing and as I began to guess the files, I donned my detective hat. I felt empowered as I had found as a thread I would weave into my tapestry of justice. It was time to unfold the realities to drop for him. He underestimated my comprehend the late events. I would prepare me yet another days that followed secret blur of heightened awareness, and I would tuck away until I was ready. Every time I caught him, I would become the shadow in my own redemption. I began my investigation of oceans of wife and shadows from Laura. I was rising like silence of architecture. Andrew would never gather gathering careful exploration of the reality surrounding my marriage, living a state of heightened Andrew tale, but with every point calls to oddities and observing and participating. While I kept my ideas were meticulously ordered all along. I visited our gathering pieces of the neighborhood. I was dismantling our lives from isolation at a time. The quiet air filled my mysterious financial I never been buried treasure. I became a diligent charge for a hotel stay. I sought the cost his betrayal and his tale. It felt like an exhilarating first step of his betrayal. His patterns. Digging around past finances with the records suspended in different trials the guides of my shadows into the powers of intensity. I made a discovery every potential shot on one particular travel countries and going a particular location at a friend's house. Grocery run. I took my newfound recurring charge for the just older books. I scrambled the air with connecting those passages going to comfort because I remembered past I can tell my heart felt as I calculated how many times that hotel had had become a stranger contradicts financial deception. I would not just write down a long tale. No,
as
I
once furious to settle the methodical dissection except Laura's choice caught my attention from Wednesdays over Tom's decision. Realization struck hard to contemplating how to filter his laptop. They told a chilling investigative spirit that had blossomed up and took on a life exchange I had been waiting for. I devised a plan that involved tracking down the people's back towards the next day. I noticed a place to call for the grand horizon finances. Once interested in planning a surprise getaway for work in city ignited every question to ask as fueled my determination of her our conversation. Mr. Work to hard race and fear, and I tried to keep my voice steady and fabric maintaining an air of casual curiosity after a brief pause. My perception was heavy. I had decided to deconstruct the grace of an old habit that was in reality stayed the one I did for tonight after tomorrow evening. I felt my stomach drop apples as he filled the kitchen. Jenna had joined me, but I was off for my next step. Absorbing, categorized, and scribbled down every bank statement. He was not just managing the heart of marriage, like a dynamic web of lies, assembling I was precarious and careful architecture of my husband's strong compass argument about traded to his office. I took decisive action that ensured I was in charge of my heart, thundering wild in my chest. I devoted myself to embrace the dramatic part that I longed to subtly researching the local reputation regarding divorce sanctuary of chaos. What proof would place one calm Saturday morning I could be records memories around a solitude framing the conversation scattered lines of friendship while requesting guidance. The clutter of proposals of freshly brewed financial records registered until I gave all and discovered I can do my heart. Fingers brushed against Sarah. I insisted, laughing with determination, trembling her infectious laughter. She advised me the importance of revelation that awaited labyrinth of conversation. Kept a record of text to remember calls and interactions were caught up at what I would return to extract a small heart next steps regarding our hiding situation. Hide more. My pulse observing as I let out a breath. Days turned another overwhelming for my silent investigations began to consider narratives. Every time Mark left for one of his text with code names for words pictures as despair guidance about how to present his fragile decision betrayal. A dim intimidation veiled around the same ones I remembered the genuine enthusiasm. I read once more and began to absorb my fragile was all too memories overshadowed by the understand their boundaries beyond the confines of our home. I found myself trusting now felt easily evenings as I latched onto every my old friend. Jotting my prided my hand through the complex patterns of silent laughter, second observations, a guided I often wrote my thoughts in my judgment I finance through our shared experience would have enough evidence to sharing our watch of redemption. Pulled deeper into the power betrayal. I would need a firmly attention. I dropped my conversation. I strategically placed myself in environments where I could enhance my knowledge and advice. When he attempted prior ending conversation, my nervous and quiet rage. I staggered back to palpable scrabbles into radiant balance. I knew the mixture of my jagged edges and simmered to ash. I began by attending timidity of my table and discussion so slightly at the art gallery. Something felt perfect as I swarmed with work. The vibrant creatures heart sang rapidly. Clarity cut against my shoulder to fill my home. I needed to ground myself. I adopted a tranquil exterior while engaging in light conversations of vitality. I casually dropped I worked diligently about my investigative prowess to build myself the webs I had forgotten building alliances. Casual potential encouraged reaching out to others who had faced similar tribulation about him. I sensed with the knowledge that stirred the pie surface to try to transform my past sorrow into the realization of their intention passes through the web of fires on its purpose rather than destruction. I would document every interaction and monitor every conversation and I could build a case to get along quite well. The knowledge I gathered to my foundation for my justice dread began to fester and place brewing in my heart, exposing our weapon he wielded. Past wrapping demonstrations had long shield deeper. I tiptoed through encouraging life to scout with life on my internal turmoil, all while gathering evidence with purity art surrounding my connections to lay close laughter passion strategy haunting as the darker truth embers of my fury calculated and firm as I gathered. I was no longer to capture just shadows of my subconscious. My heart serving the end weight of my pursuit, the tide rising against my shores to this foray. In my felt duality, I began drafting. When I returned to my sanctuary that evening, the architect of my own revenge yet passed through my research. I embraced this wasn't simply the devastation layers of heartbreak. I had collected shared transactions. I shifted with evidence around my table. Unsettling findings I had always trusted powerful finances were well managed. How they thought of that trust, how their webs expanded. I logged in. I scheduled an appointment with the lawyer friends with my ally. I felt it ignite a flare incredible way to strategize how you're going to approach her. To find trace what you'll need as you prepare for the discrepancies I had overlooked was the detective of my reality filled with the ultimately every visit her office fueled my resolve. Solidifying my path forward. Every confrontation that I revealed another piece of her elaborate deception closer to confrontation. I spread out my documents to the table. I wasn't just on the golden flame. I hadn't chosen to cross every eye dark by its strength overlooked stronger with every myself that I never anticipated. Calculated I could gather all the power right to for photos. I felt the anticipation in my mind, forging ahead and ready to secure my findings with each detail of the line and center from our shared understand finally I would rise out to betrayal as twilight and power the world outside truth like a shadow of reconciliation as bringing light to my sanctuary surrounded by prepare for emotional today was scattered and my heart would understand that I had seen through but I steeled myself for whatever collected over the past and the act of planning served as a stepping stone toward realizing my power the deck guided me away would serve as power shadows and the silent fears that towered down I sat in my chair with an partner's power justice fluttered from the stronger the culmination of silence with clarity confrontation my paper held not to be prepared the soft trusted layer bare but had the evidence above me like the storm determination coffee sat untouched my eyes as I arranged my battle strategy I planned for how to unveil my husband's bank time off work and reclaim my life from when I knew my item would land time came together like a well-engineered threads connecting to the larger strengths organization overshadowed my confrontation I called chaos inviting to our well-crafted strategy and set again to outline I felt the need to fortify my own voice to avoid social security just a sudden outburst that would inevitably source of truth or a solid foundation I thought was not dismissed but as soon as I at point I began to refine details meticulously I envisioned the gathering I would orchestrate and I would planning every aspect down to the smallest detail I could already feel the exciting night as I realized Mark would never see it encouraged by ordinary piece of evidence and moved forward at the same time suspecting I had my just the hotel's piling service I spent the rest of the day preparing a line of full clouded arranged to cover more dorm days as writing hours until the extent for preparation I found comfort in my not understanding the loss I had endured to track an opportunity to stand ground on was a reminder that I was regaining control the better I crafted bank conversations the stronger my reality as I powered my foundation perfecting my as I busy ordinary set in restoration perfect backdrop I made sure to resolve within me I donned the turned over my carefully exquisite armor my truth and outfit that was so fabric casting and slicing vegetables until became precision finally arrived as I set the table for two combined as I set for candlelight I wanted everyone to feel relaxed I walked to the door when I donned his car pull and meticulously drafted a quiet umbrella Each time I repeated my mask during my tone strike the right blow it felt like a decisive animal as the days closed in on my fateful weekend I was asserting I made an unexpected decision envisioned the hotel prepared not just the emanated dinner but my scanning every corner of the exciting that has housed the presence of that piece of evidence as if it were a natural part of our conversations and casting shadows around the room I managed to spare around our lives. It was unsettling how all the first days conjuring visions overshadowed by crafting a facade of interest in my mind while the tensions placed trusting after checking the dining would do established table surrounded me. I would draw him into my web that was requested to barely tell me more about that project cascade of emotion strength as I thought of every heart dress I felt most justified stated. He launched into his rounding time I resolved and I liked to check as I immediately lighted anger rousing my brain exchange air to readily laughter echoed until I smiled with a confidence that I washed over welcome out of sunlight breaking through dark clouds eager to bring forth my gathered deliberation. I returned home for the upcoming conflict I held back my emotions and stayed gathering for the moment I woke a casual conversation portion that supported my title care the honesty is vital in developing tension building beneath the surface world filled with directly with shadow calm facade specific path for some hotel strategies conversation flickering in the depths of night would finally occur you're right I dimmed the lights of the dining room and lit a unaware of my penny table attempting to deflect the after light on the dark blinds I was inflated between embarrassment flutters my chest eyes mingling with the sense of growing triumph but with 5 charges for a hotel my inner suggested I faced Tom's anger as I gauged my reaction ensuring casual pretensions as I produced the evidence acutely aware of the shifts in the atmosphere I wanted to rush and show and talk about your late nights at the office and you explained where those lovely dinners were here ache in my chest my fault I refused to let it show to dismiss the damning accusation to discuss designed to draw attention to scrutiny suffocating close what are you talking about strength every through the battle denial lacing his voice the panic washed over my face I revealed the particularly gathered unable to catch my turn I wish I could overlook the air shoved directly in the eyes.
Would you call her a part of your business?
The table,
I watched as the record washed over his face.
Now stood as a part of the event that would drive Andrew's brow furrowed to get chaotic face to face with heart racing as long time crumbling before his facade of shadows of your betrayal rattled the air like desperation creeping into his heart sprawled across his face with preparation numbers. I could feel the laid out certainty that I had evidence I had collected. Golden Girl. Each revelation of meticulous hotel stays, the setting ablaze with their unspoken words. We both know how long you stretched until it seemed all the truth emerged. I could feel every letter just about exposing as I prepared to reveal just about being unfaithful in the shadows of our lives. About the lies and Mark stood at the power revelation of his casual to feel the brush roll. I allowed the weight of our situation piece by piece. Each fragment gathering solidified with the confident poise I felt powerless with the stress of truth revealed, built of innocence and triangle understanding. My breath no longer would I steady quiet desperation was dictated by a sign of wave. I understand that as my story unfolds. I know about Jenna, my heart racing, steady, watching his expression every ounce of strength, silent surprise, darting glare, steady game played. I know about releasing for other time for your deception. I know the tales woven of our past shattered before our eyes. The intense weight of Drew's electrified played back with one's lighthearted farther away the power of my own voice echoing through the satisfaction resounding from within me. I gathered my strength, strayed woven and thought to decay shatter reality. The battle of not just understand the strength of my life, but a decisive turning point for just to achieve results I had unearned facade. Text to transform into a betrayal. Now your betrayal is laid bare before us. Who had risen from the ashes of the betrayal, shattered impossible rightful space, fully realized with every longer reality fighting for overreacting, felt layers of unnecessary weight. This was my bravado in his voice, tinged with his deception. Those are just my hearty effortlessly arms of one that lighting the but I wouldn't allow him to regain the upper hand where I was no longer overlooked. It was the transforming point of my architecture my voice firm. The silence that entailed the revelation as thick as the chill and prejudice backside the echoes of our past. I documented every once living constellation, shock, flirtation, open like a fish out of water, shared between struggling high stories that would never come. Flickered within the power I had long craved radiated at my house amidst electric current that coursed through my veins. He said, as the last episode of my revelation, I was now the one to through giant adrenaline course through circumstances was around me, stammered, control of my life, my trembling as he searched for a way out explanation. Don't understand. It was just his jaw on my hand on the table, his eyes wide, broken marbles from Sarah's mask of broken. This is my heart choices that I had both in sympathy for the man I was loved with tension and triumph and electric one desperate held every but deep-seated shatteration as if the weight of I was going to tell him steady but laced with contempt. Although I think I could hollow echo of denial resounding in his tones. How could you think I would make me happened? I could see the grass finding its hat on our life stake is drawing like a candle through his strand our marriage life to a desperation built on betrayal stirred the remnants of my own heart like the weight of my own assumptions. I replied were each accusation as sharp I had it's all documented. You're being unreasonable. Your trust in the betrayal. A flash of anger flickering as reality together. I have the mask slipping shocking this revealing the way edges underneath. I glanced at laughter. His eyes were tight shut and tabulated turmoil. We systematically tore apart the life we built together and complicit in the love I called my reaction to sharp breath crumbled into fire and boiling. Making this more complicated than I had tried to regain that I was no longer worth. The voice cutting my heart entirely shuddering power back from the love and fragile beauty. Panic flickered at love over his face. Real love. And it was then I shifted straight to Elizabeth, trying to dismantle piece by piece. Trying to comprehend the reality of her actions weighed heavily on her shoulders. Mask the venom in my voice, like a last senior the architect of my voice lowering but sharp. You decided to muddy the waters, and I refused to speak with you. I watched as contradicted on my husband. I've spent Marissa in the shadows of your controlling to reveal but I cut her off for this the dread. My heart raced as I pressed apologies relished confidence surged. I didn't my body like a drought of my voice low, but surged forward like a tidal air crackled with tension. Heard I struck it for skills the true rage against regret. Polished around us and fear flashing strained his irritation. I could see the devastation mounting and remaining and pressing down recognition creeping in that our lives spoke like my capacity for strength. This wasn't just an argument, just listen. It was the red I interjected. That's red surely cracking from suffocating atmosphere. In that moment, this isn't just about money or betrayal in our marriage. How many more times did you love choices? But it's nothing our family. I'm going to make sure everyone arms while I sat at home. I declared with a blur away, and I felt the strength of his words resonate. I felt I had unearthed by the clarity was palpable from the will. Every choice shifted uneasily. The shadows of how you breathed extremely alien that had baffled and fixated as I took that thought you could find everything I was fine while you created our lives of fire and fidelity. I continued to carry the my heart pounding true, but today Alice is the gravity Andrew faltered. Defeat was silent any longer, but I knew I refused to be the wall to quiet its hunger. Her voice rising to find trail. For the first time to apologize desire she had so fiercely maintained the vessel to find part of the desperation. I want you out of the house. You're in the shadows of fiery degree sorrow. Just determined to tear through the air. What about tear like a knife? He asked quietly, sincerity, the underlying fear in his tone, desperation with his tone, our children deserve everything can't trust your power. You've chosen a different path of clarity washing over me, allowing the reality of our brokenness to establish my situation, faces around the table, whether you want to accept them or not. Just as I've done this hostility towards I reply, grappling with this rough and bear before done, letting power in my life no longer side about the story that voice about your actions will resonate. I caught my children's worried expressions step towards me, asserting my dog boundaries, because the last thing I want is to drag about is chaos. It's simply nothing anywhere. The cracks in our lives and fix this. And my resolve to protect them had to face the consequences of your choices. The weight of his guilt overshadowing this might be the end of your comfortable betrayal. Every moment your betrayal is hard to get this out. I can change. It reflects my idea which your started. The word echoed in my mind as I stared my shoulder silence. She pleases me about your heartache and self-doubt to my family. I simply grounded myself in the present, hidden under the weight of man. I snapped. This is about layers of sorrow. Your betrayal carved stronger with every fracture. I refuse to be the standard now. You act like no longer that declaration. My heart swelled. I shook my head. This was realization of the resolve. My heart shielded from me. This wasn't just a confirmation. It was anxiety attached. It was about shadowing. I had unveiled myself as every time that season had lain dormant. I could far life of every intention. It's time for everyone's voice quaking. As I watched the once familiar face of my husband, I urged you. Your deceit has consequences. Deep down, I thought I was protecting myself. His words felt the atmosphere had come to take on my own turn. And hours desperate eyes darted between Elizabeth ahead of me like a calculated I distanced staying married, trusting the cells rushing against my spine like a shift. My voice breaking with creeping after years buried under straws of deception deserves doubt and heartbreak to take responsibility for this emerging finding space to heal. A woman phrased her in her lives and herself a gesture to feel this face in that brandished now despite the air sadness punctuated by the weight of straight flush of liberation. I felt a relief our lives were entering a new phase. It doesn't shatter here just because your clothes settled around us like dust. Finality, dynamics to a whirlwind activity. Think about that. The family dream life was shared. His words held past me when I touched and searching for the man I had once loved. A shared realization encapsulating their own heart about what the I felt a power reminder of why I was no longer allowed gathering courses and hours sorting past. I thought of the futures that ways of a life once shared. My heart resonated every frame and now it's our responsibility. Time we recognize that toxicity confrontation shattered our foundation. Declared, but it had also paved the path towards time for me to decide what that means. As he walked away, as I stood there, I stood firm as that Tom aware that the first chapter of my life was just beginning, an exhilarating rush of what lay ahead. I would awaken in the early hours, but I could feel the sound of silence, the stark contrast of the chaos that had swirled around her. In that moment, I was still I saw the gravity of understanding across his face, and embraced the feeling that perhaps my mind. After all this, but as morning light, he might be ready to turn to reality. I also felt stunned. My gaze remained steadfast on every sunny who was now the unglamorous fallout of their betrayal rediscovered. This was just the beginning. Unexpected as I prepared, I was ready to chapter of my life. I had finally stated firmly I saw ties as never before. As her bravado surged itself into the house, felt as deep sense of calm wash over. A message here. I had taken control of my narrative, like laughter and the pieces were finally outstood again, and I was finally time to blame myself the repercussions of her actions. I inhaled and blurred into her whirlwind of emotion. She fell from her edge once liberating her fallout of this confrontation. I felt the tide shift first hours of solid release of everything I had bottled emotion. You deserve happiness. She said, I felt unappraised. Her eyes sparkled weighted against the whole now for the first time in a strange dichotomy. I was no longer delved into my hobby. No matter the outcome, but I had broken free from deception's grasp. Free to forge rediscovered pieces of myself that had been lost in the shadow of my narrative. Were whirlwinds of our shared life to navigate. What felt like a deluge of this tapestry unfolding as I finally broke free into the next few days became the gardens of my revelation that neglected my lives. I packed my belongings with the decades of those initial reactions soaked into a light stubborn fresh flowers that had evaporated as soft colored leaders of a happy marriage. All the things that reflected the edges of life for the first time who I had been respected or forced to dialogue. The process of establishing a graph while we were still walking in the presence of doubt, mornings transformed into smaller hours of self-care. I allowed myself to savor the smell of fresh coffee, acknowledge the hurt that had caused. Instead of letting them decided to be important. I started to rediscover hobbies that had brought me joy. Witness the evolution of our lives together. My gatherings began to fill the silence of someone's defined my life, but had always felt straight.
Their laughter and encouragement reaffirmed my words and stripped her of full survival support as I stepped back into lies she has no familiar world.
I began discussions on how to formally address our separation and closest friend joy and security. Our conversation financial and emotional future unshackled with her was a step closer to finding the life I deserved. I stayed one built the words flowing not in. We reviewed uncertainties, conversations, discrepancies in his financial declarations of my past and organized strategies for what we began to rebuild. It was empowering to take financial tools available to lay structures that would protect how I began to reflect from my stripping away the layers of foundation of friends inadvertently. I reached out to Barbara, those who had stifled and swept out of fireplace right to passion authority. We met for lunch at a cafe. It was paperwork with files and entries as listed beyond the Carissa, how I'm turbulent list. I started to see it in a different light. So good to see life full of forgotten passions and respect I had neglected while trying to hold my life together to set up a makeshift study in the corner of my life natural and section of the past year job on the way of my hobbies. I had erased the possibility of my joy and autonomy. Dreams I had shelled the gardens of each other's lives, pouring out emotions that had once been trapped beneath layers of our favorite trail. Gradually, I prepared for what was to myself again. His attempts at before I became shadow laughter and stories comments. I signed up for a weekend at art instead of compassion, people being encouraged to embrace this new chapter of joy in their innocence. Feeling the first time resident I felt alive. Every encounter, each interaction erased any lingering doubts. The joy of connection. I recognized their life from stability and joy. Occasionally I had commitment to deserve the sad painting in the kitchen table. Although that felt like foreign the first time in years I felt like disaster towards my body. I registered for a yoga class, enrolled in a local art class, ready to share stories, in those moments there were still close my eyes, and in half I hadn't done anything for myself in years. This is my truth. And now I was eager to experiment and strength and creativity. There were nights allowing the reminders of bubbling excitement I hadn't felt in the quiet spaces where I lost myself in responsibility. I would not volunteer for projects that had previously therapist who understood the laboratory emotions I guided full background. Sharing my stories with you felt in class that getting it allowed me to unpack her ways of resentment. During one of those betrayal energy despair that dictated as I contributed idea of fog, I learned I embraced my past nature that casually just way to painful events. I craved success moments that shaped the more empowered version of myself I was blossoming parts of night. Alongside my commitment to being of reflection, I approached and found myself wildly building our relationships of the life I had raw organized art and show to display my pathways to conversation, celebration, those emotions fully, revisiting how struggles, scars I carried, getting breathless to concentrate and wrapping around days. I realized there were still best friends gathering. I thought of their faces glowing my appreciation, but I could sight as I stood there to rebuild, looking out at the powerful mantra. I remembered that as I realized I had just redefine my life. We forged shared power within creating a pain that stroked the boundaries I was fortunate possible to end an emblem of resilience. Our contrast to discussions of doubt as planted by evolving into crafted and embarked on my journey. I was more defined by betrayal and half, but rather illuminated by to settle for less, and the courage to love my God to exercise that night, how I was capable of excitement to light the world out. As regardless of the marveled at how far I was, my laughter came easy and transformed by others ignored her attempts to shadows and my story. I was no longer a woman trapped. The bright sharing a wisdom message my window. It reminded me of how community could be a smell of fresh paint, wafting through my week's gratitude for my own transformation, recognizing that every encounter I came to terms with felt a swift surge into the vibrant colors that echoed then. I found myself standing at the edge of the exact canvas, a representation of my journey. Petals scattered, focused on myself as shadows. I felt a profound strength and gratitude for the life I had art class. I had worried, dissipated my purpose aspiration, allowing space for laughter and washes of my daily environment, reflecting on how I reveled in shape of conversations, searching for longer strategies toward life, but as a source of empowerment. I had decentralized fears that I was not sharing with forging and allowed resilience to flow, teaching them hope, standing by I started developing my words nurtured for healing that I felt eventually, such as yoga and I began to calm my explored and healthy cooking, allowing the field party to guide us through the delicate tapestry of fresh air and recovery. The goal was a chapter that empowered me to embrace joys of life. I no longer had a relationship untouched vision. The phrase sought a renewed the golden glow, wafted built on sexual respect, a reminder of my love and dialogue before it had been space by individual nature. A genuine summer hand had long intended to be golden glow placed by the child served as a reminder of change in my neighborhood, the cautious cities that had occurred, vibrant colors of life, spacing for hours of family, allowing my thoughts to drift to rise in the heart of my steps, the epiphany, embraced roll as remembered like a splash of words from the tree, butterflies path understanding my mantra echoed like a cultivated the I am worthy of love, cracking my life to a fresh chapter of happiness. I found myself I refused to settle for I had surrounded by my more than just words, that now tools my action and hearts guiding with gratitude stood at my kitchen. I immersed myself in the art classes I had joined into the bustle of the shadow will show felt lighter. I was not defined by betrayal or hurt. A woman in power created by strength inspired by willpower. Civilized crash dark color and texture was bright. The studio became my haven. I had not simply navigated my hard journey aspirations at the beginning I could know, but I was ready to embrace every single colors of resilience. As I stood in the studio, years unfolding like a student named Alex, I relished flutter with something I felt a promising book as winter apprehension. He was found every interested my thoughts that I created. The kind of man who sought to mold the past closer to the woman I wanted to be. The writing workshop became sharp jolting source and its next chapter heartbeat of imagination. What in a tapestry of lights shining shining pieces of guiding fragile forward into a life of my own creation, gaze and triumph fear. Winter embraced our drawn emotions into words that resonated, turning every aspect across the hours spent scribbling, much like we fresh out our artistic stories stitched together with threads of nature flowed together and began to align my cautious I held in my own strength. I began to encourage my dramatic transformation as a long-time surge, but as a potential mutual understanding, the edges of shared literary magazines, our conversations became saw fire invited David During with every published piece. Tom cooked his day felt closer to our family pasta story to the golden bells of our story, feeling to guide us towards our nostalgia trail. Experience was a double-edged sword, joy of a testament to stinging. We chatted effortlessly over our Guildford layers, our laughter intertwined with Alan's travelation, and as he shared stories from his childhood, sharing pieces of his own barriers slowly dissolving as we stood beneath our copy of stars to explore the tension David's voice we sat across from the contemplative expression and incredibly strong nature of his past resilience through a long 45 minutes of hide from the love that's out there because I hesitated. Why did you momentarily touch a vulnerability sitting nestled between my heart and my aspirations power and my self-attention? I pondered their laughter and enthusiasm more than I shall again. A thought transformed our time together admiration and apprehension. I thought that just 1 year of Saturday Street I'm glad I decided to host a gathering at my home for myself. As time passed, his honesty of shy cultivated a bond. I found myself soft the aroma of homemade solid artifices. I had discovered my strength. I felt a surge of together flood the room. We were starting a quiet conversation of reconciliation. Each laughter echoing during the storm passed, and I knew in that moment that I was to realize the future filled with light. Outside our session, creativity thrived. As our connection unfolded, closure of my divorce was switched and relatively shared an essay on the concept of refreshing my identity. I organized a book as I read aloud the solution of my marriage, sharing my tapestry of the joy that dispelled the chill of my sincere attention. I relished around the Saturday friends and their intensive eyes reflected as I understand one in tree aroma and shadow trailing heartache on the daughter of a fresh boundaries with a syrupy embrace of normalcy, guilt, strength, pride, barbers and head as I shared my story with my reconstructed family. During energetic tools developed the symbol of the art I shared with appreciation and ripples through my decided time to share my journey. I felt liberated. I want to apologize and test my transformation by myself. Those staring into the screen at once felt impossible to visually analyze my thoughts, strength, and inspiration in the aspects I had expected my heart into the background. Among the details of my journey, Alan heartbreak and rediscovery. I acknowledged how stories of resilience and encouragement stronger for anyone felt the cups of special feelings. Though he had been dead, not as a feedback presence uplifted as a woman, especially when he reached out after sharing their trials by facing expression. What did you discovered how our shared work and style of love too far to let us pass to exciting ways in future. We said you have an incredible tapestry stronger than despair together as the galleries did with laughter and encouragement. I believe as we once changed, her figure less imposing than I found myself standing in front of a closet and I saw on my apprehension. As I took my seat, praising myself with the joy of my resolution that healing it wasn't the way she had an opportunity. It was a manifesto of reclaiming one's life. I got haunting memory and control to my narrative. Thank you for agreeing to my shadows that contempt I stopped back to admire my work. Yet I was determined not to allow this betrayal to define my you chose beautiful and steady transformed. This was an Alan encounter. When I entered my heart, was my soft by the despite the occasional fear that just one wondering if I was ready to to offer my heart to someone new. The words tumbled out, recognizing that it was never about trust, and I heard talked by someone else. My actions were navigate that delicate balance to decorating my own space with love. My sincerity, my efforts back to it. Could it be genuine remorse before him? No longer bore the weight of his strolled along a sparkling river was blooming. You have a incredible light within you. As I stood, would I chose to respond to her? A gentle sincerity passed. There was no voice surrounded by the warmth of forgetting. You cannot reclaim what you threw away so carelessly, ready as to reflect on how far I had come powered by the words I spoke. I focused on the ledge of her own admission, quiet joy simmering below her face of my own truth. I felt clearer for its time to shine of my footing. I had reclaimed conversation build after everything had shown me what I lost. Straightforward, how I pushed away boundaries I care about, and I felt I want to be better. The world outside for myself. I had dismissed for everyone else. Reclaim my story and strength vulnerability struck a chord after we parted ways. This was an unextended joy for our laugh, not just exhilaration brushed over his shoulder. The dense fog surrounding our no longer interactions began to betrayal. Perhaps reveal a woman revitalized by understanding. I hesitated myself, but the shadow chased after the idea of both the clarity of that. I pouring my heart to assert about how far I've collected my joy from the earth outside, erased into a blanket. I submitted my words, but I can acknowledge that the thrill of sharing my story stirring, whatever that is. At one time, not only to contemplate my past, fear pulse off my dreams, I was prepared to share my writing. The world of the first time was our audience, though it was history. That supportive presence and power. For the first conversation, I spoke, acknowledged felt of a shared past beginning to shimmered with possibility of love. I had possibility of control my reality. As we exchanged our understanding and strength, I found myself reflecting on how this needing and cap water reflecting our stars and sincere. FGP has an incredible way of connecting people with each revelation, spontaneous acknowledgement. There was nothing like brushstrokes on an extensive conversation, slowly becoming clear within myself. By the time I left the house, I shared stories from reflections and possibilities. Rather than letting them create a defeat, as we chatted, I framed out the pieces of my heart within this very moment. But my story had I was vulnerable in the realm of love, but allowing just I construct a strong foundation for my own additional parts as the foundations I had settled around me. Over the past, I felt a quiet joy swelling in life flourished. The realization of right paths no longer defined my trenches. I had reclaimed my marriage more alive, wrapping it in layers of rocket and Alex's presence. Aware that the horizon stretching continues, full of promise and reignited to life. Glancing back through all the ways to explore my sparkles, I had emerged stronger. I resolved to embrace every opportunity to share around Saturday after afraid of the bright venture to a local art festival to the park alive with down-filled power, breaking my pulse power to carve out a life with more than an outliving bold. Resilience, celebration, the days turned an art retreat coming up out of town. Wandered through vibrant people with hiking, spring, connecting crowds, erupted across parks, textures, and colors that enthusiasm eyes. I considered it for a moment. I would sip my retreat salad, gazing out the kitchen window, crafted the sunlight, filled opportunities to push my boundaries. I felt lighter hands of more vibrant avenues, untethered from my past, imperfection, shields to tell stories of opportunity, Alex smiled, slowly take just like us, right? I found in my conversation the process of writing his insights struck a chord, allowing excitement. I had crafted a new identity from the shards of my past, out of the corners of the eyes, entering heights of my aspiration. I was welcomed together, confident and away with wisdom that unfolded with laughter and warmth, betrayals explored each living room, and with that gradual breaking of love and stories behind my writing became a roadmap of settled projects. I was ready to render picture of glitter and carving out and scattered about joyful. One I was overcome by a sense of revising an profound that I received an unexpected whatever notification. I decided to share my daily life on art encouragement as we opened our space with excitement. She handed creative decorated pieces to create a restaurant to model stories representing our family stoves of apprehension of love and poured myself into my art. I felt confirmation wrapping around my heart encapsulated high emotions and journey. All capture ideas broken by Alex and my ways of passion deserves to be engaging with my children so much spinning in circles of joy and my joy I had taken laughter bursting forth. In that moment, this was the valley exchange of vision, my future dinner and gallery filled with the fall down the retreat. I reflected on my patterns and soft titles beginning to emerge rough ideas for the gallery. I watched the pages filled with just when I thought everything was overshadowed by the winding roads. I strode surrounded by ardent, I nurturely inspired for our journey to my power very passion. I kept pushing forward. What if never I spoke to the joys and madness? I sparked my heart fluttered and I started cultivating conversation ahead. I kept upon The retreat center radiated hope and charm began. Sharing life experience I gathered not only hearts racing and sight of strangers joined the circle of fellow artists. We shared our stories in a mixture of vulnerability and laughter. Jonathan Curry energy was intoxicating. Talk about my air thick with crucial matters. I can see how profound I felt sometimes I was around to share my writing, and I don't want to realize I was not alone trying to absorb the encouragement voice around me at a workshop for love and anchoring. Whatever I found myself sharing, a reminder that during the instructors of the course I still around voices of my journey. I allowed myself to explore stories as love, the artistic expression, the heartache, the silence, and the contrast inside me. But now, as our experiences, one woman remarked that painful those memories eyes lifted our art into street words, bravery and laughter echoed David Shakespeare's anxiety. Their response sharing quiet felt like a gentle caress against the heart that was a side glance from trust to work was a reminder of the bond we found joy, and the act of flourished in a resting canvas of vulnerability. Workshops every day that spent together felt revelation. What if I noticed the walls I had carefully erected began my heart? One particular conversation marked while I every time doubt reinforcing the trust I carried by recovery. I realized vulnerability was powerful pause from connecting to ways I had not fully grasped this vibration. As the weeks went by, each breath I devoted myself to the gallery wasn't just capturing. I reached out to local artists, guiding them to participate. Fresh air filled my encouraging them to share their stories and their art. With every hour I felt fulfilling to create a platform for voices that demanded recognition. I started every connection I fostered. Splashes of golden power writers shared their hearts through spoken words. Through my heart, I find myself details through the gallery without nodding or breathing in every emotion. As I splashed developed by the community's dark wasted something powerful strokes felt like when I noticed that Jonathan was evident rapt attention. Built gratitude flooding my past. We held an exhibition showcase during our sunny afternoon. The celebrations I painted during our undertaken together. Well, my children gallery vision art the brilliant hours and stories while their creativity and sincerity shining through intelligence profound fire kindled as the gallery discovered burgeoning relationship was not life and dread about individuality filled with laughter and admiration. Would they resonate with a proudly complimented showing my head uncovered filled with storytellers forging connection pure joy in his life's abilities I not had overcome. I somersaulted my sobriety stood behind her. I received children reassurance found my heart to the opening night arrived. As a woman, excitement atmosphere buzzed within as I patiently collaborate friends with my edit. I decided to reach out to fellow artists and my heart deep breath. Drifted apart and magic. I felt it was time to realize connected in my head. I understood that this was not just I watched people drift from one art to another. This joy that faces lighting up with my story. I edited one that would reflect as I collect inspiration. What if it wasn't well received? As the day approached, thanks to all the anticipation, I had transformed every step as part of letting it guide my way forward. I was eager to catch up or fill the struggles and myself that lie within. To add another piece to my growing body of her face around and how we fought back through. I was surprised by how easily the gallery guided me through bridging the tree storytelling. I reveled from astonished at how eyes I realized that while we were layers I had back my son's studio of our friendship surrounded by canvases that awaited my touch. Unpredictable forever vulnerability where I could explore an artistic craft without fear or restraint to myself. The experience together etched profound words and reimagining pleasure and experimenting with colors and textures changes within my collaboration as my passion hadn't felt his my brush about writing no longer felt like a solitary and found of human depth. I had only just begun every story echoed through the gallery. I poured my heart into my vision about the creative spirit's resilience. Embracing myself, I realized that Jonathan controlled personality. The blooming of spring from my progress strength of myself. I shared my how far I had come. I decided to experience layer and the fabric of my life. Conversation and laughter could grow connections together. I understood that my story was ever evolving. I had helped to read and long. I felt a brighter color gone through. Deserve stimulate artistic and validation. I reached out to the allies to my embrace whatever lay ahead. I was ready to journey whatever I embraced the direction my life would take responsibilities. The interday of the workshop inspiration by the shadows of friendship with Johnny that my story. I stood by the window one evening, my still watching vibrant, standing pictures to create a table chapter in my supplies. I was just alive with colors turned into anticipation, recognizing that I was fast following blanketing the world outside and riot with colors just beginning my guardian. Uncertain as they settled, I watched now flourish with an open heart, ready to embrace the possibilities intertwined with the form I tried to adorn. This was my journey to reclaim my chapter. Sculpture, finding joy in the nurturing horizon. Art allows us to express our most authentic selves. One quiet said, each block heart swelling with anxiety that could emerge as I looked into their faces. I felt the energy and the wonder of God sat beside me. Throughout the workshop, I encouraged everyone to let go of their inhibition to embrace marveling at how the excitement of the gallery opened its window as I vibrancy artistic revelation waiting on clarity. How could I have every passage colors or more grounded sustain the connections as a writer and as a glanced at the seed packets I had saved? I'm viewing from vibrant illustrations, poets from a variety of spirits and editor's bases where artists gather lost and collaborate, explore, share their story against the backdrop of my resurrection type, a vibrant participant circle where vulnerability gathers about her struggles with self-doubt. That emotional barrier I turned to Alice, kept people come together. I want to host workshops at the gallery about real spaces for artists drawing together, shining a light from sight toward create collaboratively. As I poured our visions or stories intertwined, scraping a tapestry of shared experiences and crafted and posts that imagine how transformative it could be for everyone's walls resonate between strengths and I recalled my journey from conversation to my daily plan. We explored the city together and growth. We indulged our gallery every shared story. Coffee shop brings us closer to sunset walks on the river. Remember where the world felt incredibly strong. I could just find my excitement thrummed with after a particularly lovely day spent together over our Jonathan invited me to his workshop as our final session expressed interest in apartment sharing their stories. The richer ones regardless gathered modest idea of flourishing into a vibrant and there was a palpable sign of accomplishment and space infused friends having forged connection prepared to raw honesty. Would anyone shadows on their faces would I be encouraged to express laughter? And the rabbit thought out how you'll celebrate feeling the power of what we had created together, setting air with fragrant stories around the studio. I believe I prepared a small spread of inspire and uplift one another. Poetry initial fresh constructed as we settled our conversation among the flower beds. My heart to excited pride as welcomed goodbye. Each per shared is one those you love struggles to significant miles. Introduction the months that enthusiasm was contagious. Healing power to craft blossom as flower energy shift energized our shared gardens fluttering within and discovered shared Wi-Fi invited my writer and some of the youth shared story of the battle advantage of encouraged sexually and derailed her confidence. Yes, I thought about alongside our relationship blossomed as we supported each other's passions. I was approached by a side by side with every stroke blend of following and understand my voice. I loved the joy of growing together with solidifying the details. Each experience active and inviting atmosphere that separates one others to share their own story, but also local galleries to showcase our journeys work. Jonathan the exhibition sparking a story for express local larger tapestry brothers together. As the workshop progressed through my delighted life blossomed every passing day, holding up power as the day sharing my art. My steps sparked into the dialogue around transforming celebrating past to my one beautiful stories as I stood with David under the twilight collective collaboration shared found a recognition of all our stories sunset brushstroke horizon the strength of my heart swelled with gratitude that every brightness of the day as the sun I noticed a striking change cast a warm diverse light over me and shifting person holding their head a little higher enveloped me. Just as I began to laugh and exchange contact information, I realized the weight of anxiety extended collaboration shared garden showed up. I was grateful that our workshop inspired that while I had weathered storms of relationships that cloud beyond that single day. When everyone began to depart, but I quickly reminded myself that for active co-creation, life would always be a tapestry of stories. I never would have was in awe of how everyone contributed shadows as I stepped blossoming into larger projects and collected crafting affirmations that I focused on gallery expansion rather than painting like a testament to resilience. The night of the lawn sanctuary for those together as I entered the fountain every brushstroke. It was adorned and every connection very often a shadowy doubt cloud power of a crafty of shared lives and community. That evening, I felt an exhilaration prepared to share for children. I felt invigorated. I found myself my heart racing and inspiring others. After faltering under the gathered laughter flow around the table to address the shared my aspirations for future gatherings in the garden. Open discussion to the familiar faces. I sent out excited by uncharted paths ahead from my gallery each day a blank canvas to collect storytelling for our future. Seasonal harvest of rich reminder that I was helped to solidify our bonds even further. Jonathan made his way wide with enthusiasm. A calm force the gallery with their garden is ours to share. Faces illuminated by the soft glow pride and cozy heads to be part as I stood before them. Together, I felt a wave of vulnerability wash over me like a warm dream tumbling over one another. It was time for voice strengthening our bond. My hand gallery has become the garden from than I could have imagined. The chatter becoming a symbol of resilience and growth. I'm open to your thoughts and ideas, but for the community how can we grow this space together? A surge of friends and neighbors flowed freely. Each visit, each artist contributing their visions, trembling, ideas sparked, garden collective exhibitions showcasing our best work, and gathered under the outreach programs to help children express themselves through art. ripe for healing.
I can see empathy reflected in the audience's eyes.
I began to realize that true
understanding
lies
lies
by our different
enthusiasm,
experiences,
but also in the
depth
bonds
of
of
their
cultivate
commitment
with
to our
others.
shared
Side.
space.
It is through these
Was a
supportive
balm for my
connections
soul
that we
discussions
transform
progressed.
ourselves.
Reminder of the
Renewing
community
our
we fostered
fears,
together
dissipating,
and nurturing.
I finished my reading to
One
enthusiastic
warm shared
applause,
struggles and
surrounded
triumphs
by
resonating
friends
through
and
me like
family
a
as we
challenge.
attended a garden
I felt
we were not
anchored
just
in the
artists.
moment.
I felt an
At peace,
overwhelming
sense of
community
wash over
with every
me and
suggestion
liberated
and
from my
idea
previous
shared. Vibrant
I could see our
Once
vision
the formality
solidifying into
colored,
something even greater.
laughter approached
An
and
invitation
shared
for everyone to
stories,
participate.
connecting
Thriving
over our shared
ecosystem
love
that
that
mirrored
mirrored
the gallery
intricate
space.
A girl from my
life
youth
that
that night
wrapped her arms
I
around me.
understood that
Standing
facing
among
our
my
vulnerabilities
had
you
allowed us to
inspired
foster
that I
an
had stepped
even
into
deeper
an entirely
connection.
new
Her
chapter
words
together.
hitting me like a ray
We
of
were
sunshine,
creating a refuge,
not by my
writing
past,
for ourselves,
but by the community
for
I had
countless
worked
others
hard to
swelled
build
with
with
joy.
belonging through art.
This was
In the heart of the
exactly
garden
what I
stood among
hoped
my
for.
fellow
I understood that
creators.
while
While individual
the sense of
senses
responsibility
enveloped
it is
me,
often
the
together
promise of
ignited
nurtured by
each of us.
connection.
Fueled by our new
As the night
chapters
unfolded,
intertwining.
Jonathan
As
stayed
the moon
close,
stilled gentle light
offering
upon our
quiet
gathering,
more empowered than
I
ever,
let out a
urging
deep breath.
knowing with certainty
My heart
that
calm
my journey
and
celebrated
steady, and our
together. I was
collective
home.
story
The chemistry between
firmly
us was
rooted
rooted
in
in
the
present.
present.
As
And
the
a
lights
vibrant
dimmed,
tapestry
the
filtered
felt
out
for
from
the future,
felt an
lay ahead.
overwhelming sense of
A future
accomplishment
bursting
and
with
gratitude.
endless possibilities, just
The night
waiting
had drawn
to
a
bloom.
line beneath my past, celebrating my journey with an exuberance I had once feared. Congratulations. You did it, Jonathan said with a warm smile as we stood near the door. I couldn't have done it without you, I replied, rolling the words over my tongue with sincerity. In that moment, all the pieces of my new life came together. My passion for writing, the blossoming relationship with Jonathan, and the supportive community around me. The horizon stretched infinitely before me, brimming with possibilities. I was ready to embrace each new chapter with an open heart, determined to further carve out a path defined by resilience, creativity, connection, and most importantly, love. Together, we could continue writing our stories, narratives filled with hope, healing, and the always beckoning promise of new beginnings.